For areas that are subjected to physical damage, it's tough, you know, or in a camera line, so you don't want nobody to tamper with it or cut it. They can't, something strong like that. But, and then this is a reamer. You can see that it's got tiers on it with 3 different size blades, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch. And that goes inside the conduit. When you cut it and you turn it, it hooks it and it smooths it out. So anybody can pull wire without scuffing up the wire. Okay. We are going to make a basic bend. All right, let's just say that I have a box here, right? And I want that pipe to come right up to the bottom of this. Well, what I would do is, of course, I would get my measurement. And it is 35 inches and 3/4. I write down everything. So, now, this pipe bender has a take-up. And what that means is, I'm going to make my bend at 35 inches and 3/4. So, I'm going to mark, sorry, actually I got to do it this way because I like to stand on this side. I'm going to mark my pipe at 35 inches. I've done this before. At 35 inches, wow. And 3/4. Right? Put a nice dark mark because it's a whole piece of copper pipe. When we bend our basic bends, now, you guys can all see this arrow here. See that arrow right there? That arrow is where we would put it on our mark for this specific bend. I'm going to bend a 90. But if I put this arrow right now on this 90 and bend it, it's going to be 5 inches too much. Because on every bender, there's a certain amount of take-up. And if you look at your sheet, which, okay, right here, 1/2 inch is 5 inches of take-up. 3/4 is 6 inches, 1 inch is 8 inches, 1 1/4 is 11. What that means is I have to deduct 5 inches from this because there's a 5 inch take-up on the radius of the bend. You guys understand that? Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. So, what I'm going to do, put a measure, cross out this. I'm going to do this. Okay? Now, it's kind of hard to do all this without. So we hook it on our, and I don't like this bender. My guys have my cool bender. The trick is, I'll tell you, I've taught a lot of people to bend pipe over the years. And I see people do this, or this. But if you look, when I bend, it pulls this up. And when I'm bending against it, it bows this. What I want to see you guys do, when you're bending pipe, I want you over here on this side. And I want you to put all your weight here. That way, when I push down, I'm pushing down on the bender, and it's keeping it wrapped around the bender. Grab this and just stay with it. Finish it up. And I think I'm a little.
Beginner's luck.
No. Okay, right on the money. If my calculations are correct, I'm going to be right on the bottom of that. Less 1/4 inch. I'm shy. Because I'm not used to that bender. But you guys get the basic point. Show you another bend. Should I cut this piece of pipe? Commercial situation, when you're bending pipe, I have built a lot of electrochromes. And what happens is, let's just say you have a panel can exposed on the wall here. And you're bringing all your pipes into the panels, right? But you want to go off the wall on your rack or in the ceiling, or however you're going to strap it, and come through this little cubby spot right here that the contractor blocked out for you. So you can get out there, get the conduits out to the guys, right? So what I need to do is, let's just say that I made that bend so I can bend it up to this rack perfect. Now I need to bend it this way. Follow me? That's called a back-to-back bend, because you're going to have two bends. So now, what I would do, let's just say that bend is going to be, what should that bend be? I don't want to use too much of the pipe. So let's just say it's 3 foot. All right? So what I'll do is, of course, try not to hit the smoke detector. I will make a mark at 3 foot. And I'm going to mark it all the way around on this because you may have to do some wiggling. Okay, now on the bender, there's a star. See that star right there? Yeah. Now, there's a notch and there's a star. You can see that there's 2 marks. See the notch right there? See that notch? See that star? See the little arrow there? You guys see that? There's a notch right there. There's 2 lines and the arrow. Star, I mean. See that? Notch. Star. Notch. And star. See that? Notch.
Yeah.
And star. Notch. See? And star. That notch is the center of the bend. Right now, forget about the notch. Let's work on the star. So what I would do is on a back-to-back bend, I would measure it 3 foot, right? Measure back. Remember how I told you that you're supposed to deduct. But on a back-to-back bend, you don't deduct. You put it on the star. Now the trick is, which way do I gotta bend this? I need this to bend this way, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I need this to bend like that. So when I put it in, it's going to be that way. You guys got that?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll tell you my little field trick, which I forgot my clients. We got tools in there? No. All right, I'll wing it. Put it on the star. Put it on the star. And then you're supposed to, usually I put my client, this is about the width of my clients, I put my clients right under here. Perfect. See what that does? Kind of makes it level. Put the star in there. Screw that up. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't even know I had this bender till like half an hour ago, so bear with me. Now I should do this for a living. But now, remember, your pipe is exposed. See it? It's level this way, but it's crooked this way. That's a no-no. Because you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to come on and go, that's crooked. It did it better. So, well, of course it's not. Somehow it's not level. I think it's this floor. Okay. Just manipulate it a little. All right. Let me get this one. Okay. Now, measure. That is 3 foot back to back. That's what back to back means. On the outside of the pipe to the outside of the pipe. You wake over there, man. All right? All right. Now we're going to bend an offset. What's an offset, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. An offset is this bend right here. And I want to bend a piece of pipe because I want my piece of pipe to come and I'm like, uh-oh, I got this jog here. I need to offset up on top of here. Whatever shall I do? Well, I'll tell you. My offset needs to be exactly 6.5 inches. So now, there's some questions that ask about an offset. Let's just say that your piece of pipe that you're trying to tie to is right here, right? And now we're not looking at it this way, we're looking at it this way, okay? Now, I need to know where I need to start, from here to here. So when my offset comes down, but I can't make it too tight because I don't want this to be in the bend. So I would suggest, well, you know what? We don't need to be too technical here. I'm going to tell you my little trick because I'm hoping you guys would just get right to it. And this would really impress somebody. You make it a little bit longer. I'm at 21 inches. I would go 24 inches. And I'll explain to you why. First bend, 24 inches. And what the heck was my measurement?
6.5.
What is it?
6.5.
I'm 50 now. Don't make fun of me. So, now, the radius of the two bends that I'm going to make are 30 degrees each. 30 degrees, 30 degrees. 30 degrees, so it looks like that, right? Mm-hmm. So, 30 degrees is times 2. What does that mean? That means from this bend to the next bend, I have to times, if I'm going to use 30-degree bends, I need to times my measurement times 2. What was it, 5.5?
6.5.
6.5. 12, so we're at 13 inches, right?
Yep.
So, I go from here, and I measure from here, 13 inches. Because 6.5 times 2 is 13, correct? And usually you take your second bend and kind of make that all the way around, which I'll show you why. Well, because you're going to be moving it, and you want to be able to catch it. So, hold on 1 second. Maybe the bender's not so bad and it's just me. So, I'm on my arrow. You guys see that, right? Now, which I should have said this first. Today's day and age in technology, they have cool tools, like an electrician's level, which is awesome. This has a 30-degree bubble on it, and a 45-degree bubble on it, and a 90-degree bubble on it. Okay, 90 degrees this way, 90 degrees this way, and then 45 and 30 degrees.
And magnets.
Oh, go on our line here. And what I like about this level, you can see from the top of it. Make sure you know which one's the 30 degree, because it's been like 100 years since I used this thing. It's the first one. Okay. Then, I just bend it until I got 30 degrees. Remember, there's no exact sign to this. There is, but you're fiddling with it. As long as you keep tight on that bend, keep that tight around the bender, keep your bender tight, you can always move it back and forth. So now the problem is I need to bend this way, right? Make that come up. But I can't just put it on the floor, because why?
Yep.
It's gonna bow.
Yeah.
So now is where the trick is to get it started. And this is called bending in the air. You bend on a scaffold, on top of a ladder, or whatever weird situation you're in, right? Just kind of look down that line, hope you can get it straight, which, you know, I'm not exactly perfect at it every time. Stay tight.
It's feeling.
Stay tight. Get it started. Keep it tight. Lay it on the floor, stay tight. Keep that bend tight. There it is. Now for the moment of truth. Did I get it straight? Hey. Man. What do you think? It's off to the right a little bit, right?
No.
Needs to go that way a little bit.
Better
See it?
now than not. Yeah.
You see it?
That's right on the money.
Yeah.
Your height.
What do you think?
That was the 90. We were bringing it up.
Nope, it was 30 degrees.
Yeah, and then.
Oh yes, and then I'm bringing it up to 90 degrees.
Okay, that's.
But this is a 30 degree
That's
bend.
30. That's 30.
Standard bends are 30 degrees.
Okay.
And you always want to be sure that you stick with the math, because sometimes the guy behind you might get fired and you're going to have to pick up his stuff and know that he's at 30 degrees. So you want to pick up on his bends, and if he's bending 30 degrees, you're going to just have to finish at 30 degrees. Once you get past that first one and get it in there, you're going to know after that. Now, well, that coffee's really hopping. So,
That's nice.
see, and I'm right there. Wow, impressive. I got it straight and it's flat. Now this is exposed. I want it perfect. So the reason why I made it long is because guess what? I want that right there. Like right about there. Now get that little thing right there, right? And those are the Vinny tricks. Pull out my. Now the blade on this hacksaw, the teeth are down, which means you only get the down cut. Let's pull back, down cut. Really should have changed the hacksaw blade. Once I got the rust off the blade, it started going pretty well. Now,
Blade, right?
you never want to twist it because it'll make a burr. Break it off. Now you guys can see that. If you feel that, that's pretty sharp in there. That'll wreck your wire, man. That is pretty sharp in there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you see how the reamer sits in? Goes to that first rim. I like to go one way and finish it off all the way through. That thing is smooth as glass right now. You ready for your coupling? I wish I had some couplings and connectors in the van. I'll go get them. But there's your offset. But now, the difference between using a 45-degree bend and a 30-degree bend. A 45 is, it's times 1.4, which you're going to probably need a calculator for that, which is fine. But what happens is, the bends are tighter and the bends are closer. So if you're in a situation where you don't have much room to get up there, you guys use the 45-degree bend, and that'll make it tighter. You get up in there a little bit tighter. You understand what I'm saying about that? But we won't do the 45-degree right now because that's really complicated. So,
Is the angle of the bend permanent, or is there a little give, you can pull it back? Instead of, you went a little too far, can you bring it back?
well, if you
some?
stay tight on it, you want to keep that. You want to keep your angles. You want to keep that 90. You don't want to pull it out. You want to you're just opening and closing it. You're not pulling it out, stretching out the bend. You're just, you know what I mean? It's going to be open a little bit or closed. That way you stay tight. And you can see my bends are not wrinkled. They're round. That's why you got to stay tight. And you got your stuff up there. When you got a rack with 30 of these on there, and they're looking down there, you see how, I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a very long time since I've been pipe. But if I got 25 of these, and they're that far apart, strapped, going like this, and someone's going, oh, I see it, one's not straight. Because people love to critique your stuff. And you'll see it. And you'll be done, you'll work all day, and you'll have all those pipes on there, and it'll be bothering you that one little bend is off. Because you didn't take the time to make it. You gotta be methodical. All this is called a 4-point saddle. That is okay. Well, I'm gonna show it to you. A 4-point saddle is, let's just say that I want to go over this. I'm coming along. Here I go, and bang! I got a beam in my way. Man, what am I going to do? Especially if you're in the ceiling. So let's imagine this is in the ceiling, and I got a beam in the ceiling, in the way. I got to go around it, right? So I need an offset, flat piece, and another offset. 2 bends on that side, 2 bends on the other side. 4-point saddle. Like if you're coming along the wall here, and there's another little piece of pipe, and you want to put a little loop around it. It's okay to do it then. But other than that, for some reason it's just frowned upon, I don't know. But you should learn it anyways. We'll try it. Okay.
So you normally just bring it up to a 45, 45, 45, 45 and down?
30. 30, 30, 30, 30.
30, 30, 30.
Okay. What do I need to know? You guys know what a 4-point saddle is, right? A 4-point saddle is this. It's going to do that. Right? When I'm saddling over my square thing, right there. Right? 4-point saddle, 4 bends. What is the most important thing that I need to know to make my exposed piece of pipe look like I know what the heck I'm doing?
The width of the beam you're going over?
Huh?
The width of the beam you're going over?
Height.
Center. Center from the end of this piece of pipe to the center of my bend. Again, am I going to try to get it exact? No. I'm not gonna. Now, this isn't an exact class, so I'm trying to teach you actual in-the-field theory. We're going to bend it a little bit longer. Why? Because then I can pull it back and make it look just that little bit. I can spare that much in the pipe. I'm going to pull it back and make that thing look perfect. But this, 9 inches. Okay? So, center of that to there is, just say, it's 38 inches. I'm at 38 inches. Guess what? I'm going to go 40 inches. 38 inches. I'm going to go 39 inches. Someone's always going to come back and look at your work. You got to know what you're doing, learn the job, know how to do the job, get the job done, show people your job, go through that, and then move on. 38 inches. Let's do it this way. What time is it?
22.
Cool. You guys are going to have time to do some bends yourself. We're going to 30. Wow. I don't like this tape. 38 inches. We're at 38 inches to center, correct? Now, I need to be at 9 inches. But do I want to be exactly at 9 inches? No. You know what? I'm going to make it 12. That's the flat part. Add a couple inches on each side so it looks good. So now, okay, hold still. 9 inches, or 12 inches, right? This is the center. Now my next 2 bends are going to be my next mark. But half, half. So 6 inches on center. I go 6 inches this way and 12 inches this way. Got that? So I'm the center of my bend. Here's my 12 inches. Now this bend is centered. We mark that so we don't forget, because we're going to have bend marks all over this and you're going to be like, what the heck did I just mark? So on these, I highly suggest make your marks all the way around.
In the field, they used in a pencil or a Sharpie.
Pencil, because you want to wipe your stuff off. Because the Sharpie does what? Points out the bends. And it's not perfect, plus you don't want to have bends all over your marks all over your exposed pipe. Now, I need to know how high my bend's going to be. Now, my bend is going to be, you can get them on Amazon, they're like $25, $30. Check point level. So now, I am at 5.5, let's just say 6 inches. Because you really don't want it to touch. You can strap it on both sides. Just kind of want it to ride over. Because you might have to ride over an AC duct or something, and you have to understand. Imagine this building. Now imagine the electrical in there. Now take away everything, because the electrical is its own entity. It cannot touch anything. Your pipes, your flex, your stuff, it cannot touch the AC ducts, it cannot touch the sprinklers, it can only touch structural. So let's just say this is an AC duct. I don't want to touch it. I want to strap it on the beams on both sides. 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches. Now I'm bending at 30 degrees, so I'm at 6 inches. So this is my first bend. What's the next thing I got to do? This is going to be my second bend. I'm going to make an offset here, 30 degrees. What do I have to do?
Double it.
Double it. Exactly. So, 12 inches. And there's definitely a trick to getting that circle all the way around the pipe perfect. It takes time. then 12 inches. Okay. Now, now, see what I mean? Look at all these marks you have. You got this mark, this mark, this mark, this mark, and this mark. That's why you mark the center and make sure you know that that's the center, you're not going to use it. But you want that center mark so you can use it as a reference point. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to make my first bend. So I have the first mark and the second mark, right? I'm going to go towards the center on that one, on the first one. Man, I got to get you guys bending. You're falling asleep on me. Okay, so towards the center. And in some benders, 30 degrees is almost the bender handle straight up and down. And there it is. Then we go towards the center. And you know what? If you're in a situation, nope, cancel that. Just gonna have to do it this way. Now I'm gonna do it like this because I've done it a million times and I know how to do it when I'm kinking the pipe. There's an art to it. What you do is you just kind of push at a 45-degree angle and keep on the back part of the pipe. Hopefully, I didn't kink it.
And by kink it, you mean make a wrinkle?
Mm-hmm. I mean, kink it. And no kink. Now, remember, this is an offset. We got to make sure this thing is perfect. Back 1,000 now. Okay. Now, I'm making the other offset. Towards the center, towards the center, towards the center, towards the center. Oh. You know, if you keep the pipe, the bender tight, it holds it. This is the tricky one. Gonna make sure on the money here. You need this perfectly straight. And if you can see, there's a line right here on this bender. It's always some type of a reference. Loosen up the bender a little bit, turn it, pull it back. Just go for it. Of course, my bender's over there. I think that's too much. Then Now is the tricky part. Is it flat or is it springy? First we check this. See that? I'm open there. Is this level? It's not. That's one nice thing about half-inch. All right. That's my center mark right there. My extra 2 inches. Let's just say I'm right on the center there, and I'm like, oh, where's exactly the center? Because I marked it and marked it. Move it around that little bit. I make my little mark on whatever side pipe I want. Cut that piece off, and I have a perfect 4-point offset. It's not touching, it's going right down. And is it straight? It's a little crooked. See how it's a little crooked? Just a little bit, right? The big part's coming out that way, see it? The last bend is coming out to your right. So, I'm sorry we don't have enough bender, guys. We try to get some more benders. Next week we'll have a few more. See, okay.
Would you move this one here?
Yep, I would bend this,
Move it like this way?
bend the whole thing like this.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, you gotta play with it, that's all.
Yes, I think.
Okay. And that's it, ta-da. Grab your fresh piece of pipe.
Did you say some of the larger pipe benders can handle smaller pipes?
Well, they have hydraulic benders that are they're only good from 2 inch up.
But these type are all separate.
1.25 by hand. That's it. But because you can't physically bend it anymore. So, I want you to bend me a 6-inch offset, and I want you to start at 8 inches from the end. Go. Should have you up there. I seen you drifting off over there.
It's exam
Don't
week.
make me call your mother.
It's exam week, leave me alone. Pre-calc is not easy.
See, I want to tell you something. Whenever, as a supervisor, you guys ever make it to that stage and you're talking to your people, you will be talking to them like talking to a man. I was just like, hey, I want you to start at 6 inches, and I'm thinking start at that end. And what end did he start at? The exact opposite of what I said. And if you're like, okay, got it, good, you walk away. Did he do anything wrong?
No.
So 6 inches.
6 or 8?
8 inches.
8 inches. Don't listen to me. That's the first bend. Now you're going to make your bends at 30 degrees, so now what?
You doubled 6 inches.
Right. So you go from that, or add 8 inches and just hook it on the end. Just go toward me, you know what I'm saying? And what you can do is this.
I just say something?
That's why there's 3 weeks devoted to this.
You're doubling your offset. The 8 inches is where you want to start. And you double the offset's about 30 degrees and 30 degrees times 2.
And that's all, whenever I hire somebody, it's one of the questions I ask them. If I say 30 degrees is times 2, what am I talking about?
90 degrees?
No.
Yeah, 60 degrees.
Are you talking about pipe bending reference? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If I say times 1.4, what am I talking about? 45-degree bend? Exactly. That's what I want to know. You said you can bend pipe. First thing I want you to do is hook the bender into the pipe into the bender. Don't even worry about it. Okay.
Right?
Now, see here. See that? See that? That's it. Okay? Put that. Okay, now, see this? See that 33? Oh, sorry. See on top of it. Just bend it until it's in the bowl. Now, put that foot there. Keep the pressure on it. Okay. Go. I didn't go too much. So what you can do is, check this out. Okay, you can't do it this way. So you hold this, and just bend it back up. Now do this.
Oh, heater pipe.
Like I said, there's no exact science to it. Get it? Ooh. Really bend the crap out of that. Hold on, just hold on. Oh, this little thing is really kicking the club. Okay. It's too much, that's cool. Now just bring it back. Now, I want you to just little until you see that bubble in the center there. Okay? Just little schmidges. Just like a little. Let off a little bit. And again. Right there. That's it. Try the other side. Now remember, now, what you have to do is, because once you unhook this, right, put that here. You'll bow it. You gotta get that bend started, right? So what I want you to do is hook that level. I want you to look down this bend. I want you to get that straight, come close and put a little bend in it. And let it move around and finish it. But when you flip it, make sure you keep tighter. Once you put that, keep this tight. Don't let go. So flip it over. You see on the line. Cut this down to this side. Look down that line and make sure this is straight. Too short. See it? Now stay, put your hand here so you don't pull it. Give it a little bend. Keep tight on it. Flip it over and put this foot on the floor. Let it come off the bender. Now, just bend this until you see that level. Yep, right there. Give him a good hit. Right there, see it? Right on right. Hold on.
Straight?
Okay, so how do we fix that? All we do is take this.
It's in the ceiling.
Which bend did you got, you have to fix? Looks like you got to bend that way, right? So, you turn your back to everybody so they can't see it. Put that bender in there, put that, right? Put that right there, past that. Just kind of give it a little. I feel like you did too much. And that's the problem. Sometimes you can be like, ah, too much, damn it, too much. Am I good?
It's a little bit different.
All right, well, you got it. Good job. Awesome. At 5 inches, and you're gonna bend in a 7-inch offset. Good.
You went one way with the reamer.
No way.
All right, huh?
What are you gonna try?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? Yeah. Oh, we got this bender right here. I want you to bend me for points out.
Never had that. Shoot.
Okay. What I want you to do, you're gonna bend an offset.
I thought there were more around. No more around?
I want you to start.
Hang on. Looking at that again.
Pass it around.
Out of my hand.
I don't know if I want to do it.
See where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah. Not heavy either.
Tell me what you did. Tell me what my measurements were.
I have 5 and 7.
You're gonna start at 5, you're going to be at 7 inches.
First time for everything, right?
That's the first bend. So
That's 5.
you're gonna start at 5.
Yeah, you said 5 first.
Right, you're gonna want 7-inch offset.
Yes, which is 14. So do I add the 14 to the 5 or do I make 14?
Start at 5. First mark is 15.
Okay, so I did 19, so this is 19. That's just my math.
From the end.
Yes.
Good job, Slade.
Then go for it, man. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Okay.
You ain't learning unless you're making mistakes, right?
Yes, for
There is
sure.
a tape measure for also.
I had a tape measure. I thought there was.
You said 10 in the front.
Sure. 10.
I think that's what you said.
You guys better remember your measurements. I'm telling you, I'm terrible with them. Plus, I'm tired. What about the take-up? How much is the take-up? How much you have to deduct?
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you. You must have caught that. I must have been talking about that while you're napping later.
Probably.
Remember, let me show you something. Remember now, because of this radius of the bend, it's adding a half inch, is adding 5 inches.
So you're going with 90 degree?
No. You're doing offset? Yes.
So you're gonna
Oh.
go 10 inches, you're gonna go 5 inches. See that arrow right there? Yeah, sure. I like this thing better. So you mark that 5, 10 inches are gonna be 5 on there, plus the add of the 5. you're gonna get 10 inches.
So it'll mark from 10 and then you just.
I think you have more tape measures.
Add 3, right?
That's just math that we do, or?
How many letters in that?
3. You just got rid of 1.
6 and 6.
I don't want you to use this bender for that.